and look at. So welcome back today, guys. I wanted to take a look at this one because this warm-up is also pretty awesome because it's a scale model of the Titanic. So much of what we've been using to kind of see how this all plays out. So I'd like you to take a moment and I'd like you to highlight the important information in this question about the Titanic. And I want us to solve for how wide that is. Also, we just have a regular proportion on the other side. Please take a moment to solve for that as well. All right, so now that we have this, I want to start by I want to give my own little ship drawing here, all right? And we're going to make it not look like the Titanic at all. And that's my terrible artistic depiction of a ship. Bear with me, all right? We'll call this the actual model, and we'll say it's 107.5 inches. So when we do that, we want to know basically the width. If I draw the boat here, we want to know how wide this area is here, right? And that tells us that it's 11.25. So when we go and highlight, we highlight things like this, this, and this. And that would kind of set us up to help solve this a lot. When I do my bigger ship, I get 2.75. All right. So when I go to set this up, all I'm doing is taking this and figuring out, well, what is the scale model? So I know that my model is 107.5 inches over 11.25 inches. Now notice I did keep those on the same side, and that's going to help me in the long run for solving this. And I have, my total length here. And we don't know that, so we're looking for that. We'll call it x. All right. Going through and solving it, what I get is 107.5x equals 882.75 times 11.25. My calculator messed up there. 2.75 times 11.25 equals 9,930.94 feet. Now I rounded, so my number is not going to be perfect and not going to be 100% equal. So now all I got to do is take that 9,930 feet and change and divide that by the 107.5, and I come up with a number of 92.38 feet wide. Now if you look up some statistics on the Titanic, because of the rounding, we're not dead on, but you will see that it is actually 92.5 feet. So in this warm-up exercise, what you're going to do is cross multiply, much like we've been doing. So we're going to get 4 times 7, z minus 2 equals 10 times 2z plus 6. And when we go and distribute these out, all right, we get 28z minus 8 equals 20z plus 60. Add 8 to both sides. All right, 28z equals 20z plus 68. Subtract 20z from both sides. 8z equals 68. And when we divide 68 divided by 8, we get 8.5. If you wanted to simplify it like I did on the board in class, you could get a fraction, but the fraction should equal 8.5. So looking at these examples today, it's that same idea of finding those corresponding sides. Now if I use this as you can tell that they're perfect rectangles because these are the same. But how do I know that they're actually really in proportion and those aren't just there? Because that represents a similar side. So I need to make sure that I incorporate this side with the x. Also because it's probably going to ask me to solve for x. And as I set that up, I want to make sure that I keep these proportions, all right, the same. No matter how I set it up, I want to make sure that I'm doing the same thing. So on the larger triangle here, all right, and I did this wrong. I should have done that in color for you guys, the colors that I used. So let me get back to that yellow marker and we'll start there. All right, so 4x plus 4 over not too far back, but that's a 6 equals, and we'll use the green here, 12 over 3. Please notice that I used the same numbers here and the same numbers here, and I didn't mix them. Now I can do them across the top, or I can put them on top of each other. It doesn't matter. All right, so we get 3 times 4x plus 4 equals 6 times 12 is 72. All right, so we got 12x plus 12 equals 72. Subtract 12 from both sides. 12x equals 60. X equals 5. All right, so go back, plug it in. 4 times 5 plus 4 gives me 24, so this length is 24. All right, does this make sense? Is 24, is half of it 12? Yes, we proved that when we know that. And 6, half of 6 is 3, so these are similar figures. All right, this next one, we have to do the similar idea. So we want to make sure we're solving for x, so we need to do that. All right, highlight purple, and then highlight the red for this, and write them down. 9 over 12, you'll notice I kind of flipped how I'm doing it, equals 4x minus 4 over 16. So when I times 16, 16 times 9 gives me 9 times 16 gives me 144. And I get 12, 4x minus 4 here. Distribute that out. 144 equals 48x minus 48. Add 48 to both sides to isolate x. 192 equals 48. X divided by 48. X equals 4. Let's go back in. 4 times 4 minus 4. 16 minus 4 is 12. So we know that this is 12 here. And it still matches up as our proportion. We can set them over each other and go 12 over 16 equals 9 over 12. And you'll see if you simplify that out, 3/4 is your number.